And hey, we got a red light. We got a red light. Hey, looks like we're live. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're doing another live stream. I know we took a break there for a minute, but we came back last week. So I guess this is just like season 2, episode 2, right? The Amazon season. So what we're doing today is a couple weeks ago, I jumped on Amazon and I just typed blacksmith tools and did a search for it. And we got Brittany laughing at me already. I haven't even done anything yet. So, anyways, the most popular tongs were these wolf jaw tongs. I did a review on them last week, so you can check out that stream if you want to see the review on those. And so this week, we were going to do this ridiculous thing. I don't know if you can see that in the other camera. It's got a very tactical kind of thing going on. It's called Spec Ops. And it doesn't seem like much of a blacksmithing hammer. It's got a rubber handle, which I don't know if you'd want a rubber handle around a bunch of hot coals and hot metal, but we're going to try it anyways. This was just a popular hammer that popped up when I did the search. This version is the 4-pound version, which for comparison, on the regular basis, I use a 4.5-pound hammer that I made myself. So my handle's a little long, but that's okay. And they're about the same. The handle on the Spec Ops one is way lighter than my wooden handle. So it feels like all the weights, well, naturally, it just feels differently balanced, we'll say. So yeah, we're just gonna hit some metal with it tonight. What am I gonna make? Probably scrap metal. But we're gonna use this fancy new hammer and see how it does. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing tonight. I forgot to put metal in the fire before we start the stream, so we'll do that now. So yeah, we're gonna be using this Spec Ops hammer. It was, Brittany, we just looked it up and I already forgot, $30. It was like 29 and some change for the 4-pound version. They did have a 2.5-pound that I did not notice when I ordered this one for 24 and some change. So, you know, a couple bucks, you get nearly twice the weight. I don't know. Feels nice in the hand. It's comfortable. I did notice earlier I was smacking on some metal just for funsies, and it's got a really funky smell. Whenever it touches hot metal, it's got a really funky smell. I'm not sure how to describe that smell. It's just really funky. Just not natural. Would you like to share with the whole class why you were laughing just a moment ago? No? She's looking at me like a deer in headlights.
I'm good.
We got something on my shirt or something?
I wasn't laughing at you.
Oh, what are we laughing at?
Me. Which is why I don't want to share with class.
All right.
Now, I went to put the headphones on just to like isolate the sound a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if you noticed that what was going on, but I was toying around with it because the right was like this and I was trying to like twist it and my brain was just not
Wasn't working for you?
thinking flip it the other way. Genius. And I thought it was funny, so.
All right.
Yeah, that's all.
Technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit this metal right before it starts sparkling. Good timing there, Brittany. So yeah, let's I don't know, let's make this square. Basic blacksmithing stuff. It hammers, it hits metal and stuff, and the metal certainly moved. Something I'm concerned about though, on my hammer, we got this nice rounding face here, and on the other side it's flat, you know, for various reasons. Sorry, chicken's making noise. I thought someone was sneaking up behind me. This one has rounded edges and then a mostly flat center, which Here in a minute, we'll hit some bigger metal and see if that leaves weird flat spots or whatever. Just continue with our paper here. Yeah, how would you describe that smell, Brittany? It's weird.
I'm not really picking up on the smell right this second.
Fair enough. So yeah, it hammers. It does the thing. I'm sure you can see that I'm not going to switch or anything. Like you can see that it went from looking like that to looking like that. So it certainly moves metal. I need to bring my heat down. That's sweet. Way fast. This will be like a 3-minute video. So yeah, it's shaping metal just fine. Certainly moves metal very easily. So it's doing its job. So if you had no other options and you could only get a hammer off of Amazon, this would do the trick. Again, I would be a little bit worried about that plastic handle. And that smell is weird, but I'm sure that after it's been used a bunch, that probably anti-rust coating will probably cook off. But yeah, it's getting the job done just fine. Comfortable in the hand. Doing a great job. So, yeah, it's a pretty decent hammer. Obviously, you've only seen me use it for most of the time I've used it. But yeah, it's pretty decent. I'll probably leave it here in the shop. Bless you. I'll probably leave it here in the shop, so in case I don't want to keep traveling my hammer back and forth from the garage out to here. But yeah, it seems to be a perfectly normal hammer. Anybody in the comments section? Anybody got any questions or concerns or insight?
Not yet. If you had to compare it to, like, scale of 1 to 10, compared to, like, your daily driver hammer, how would you compare it?
Well, that's not easy to answer unbiased because I spent like 6.5 hours making that hammer, so very attached to that hammer. It's like obviously my favorite one. I'm gonna pull this out while we chit chat so I don't just burn that cue off. Yeah, naturally I much prefer the one I forged myself with the help of some very incredible smiths that helped me guide me through the process. If I had literally no access to any other hammer, I'd be happy enough to use this one. But naturally, I'm going to like mine better. I'd mentioned to you earlier, I probably wouldn't show up to a hammer in with this hammer because everybody would make fun of me. Like, Jesse, you have a perfectly good hammer. Why are you showing up with this thing here? But if you were a newbie that just got started and this was literally the only hammer you had, show up to a hammer in with it. The guys are probably going to want to try it, and there's a good chance that someone will say, "Hey, grab that billet. I'll walk you through making a hammer." So one tool leads to another.
And then you can spend 6+ hours making a hammer. So, I mean, For me, it was what, closer to 8 hours, if not more.
Yeah, like 8 or 10 hours, like from nothing to fully usable hammer with the handle and all that stuff on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't referring necessarily to the handle in this case,
But yeah, like this is the hammer that Brittany made. It's a wonderful little hammer. It's probably a little more than half the weight of my hammer.
yeah, I think it measured out to be like 2.5, or
Two and a
like
half,
maybe a
somewhere in
little
there.
under 2.5.
But also, to be fair, you had like an hour and a half of blacksmithing under your belt when you started that hammer.
True. Shout out Paul and Rob for helping me with that.
Shout out to Paul and Rob, exactly. Yeah, if you're just hanging out on the YouTubes and the Instagrams and whatnot, go check out Sharp Bend Forge. That would be Rob, incredible smith. Helped guide me through making my hammer, helped Brittany go through her hammer as well. That dude's probably made 100 hammers. So yeah, it's a decent hammer. It's doing a great job. Like it's moving the metal. Then I'm gonna finish up this curl a little bit, and then what we'll do for fun, and it's gonna get loud as heck in here, so headphone users maybe switch the speakers. But I got this railroad spike that a buddy gave me, and it's a much bigger, denser piece of metal. So we'll really have at it with this hammer. And this is where we'll see any flat spots that flat face will create. So we'll just see how that plays out. If you hear it crashing, it's probably just stuff falling off the walls here in the shop. I already knocked some brass on the floor when I was using it earlier. So yeah, does a little curly dealy. You want to get the camera too. There's another curly deal. So a little bit of dainty work with this big massive hammer. So what we'll do now is we will just throw this spike in this fire. It'll probably take a minute to get warmed up. But we'll get this spike in the fire and then we'll just wang on it a little bit and see what happens. So yeah, that'll be fun. Excuse me. So let that get warmed up.
So with that handle, and with that being like what you said, like a rubber.
Yeah, it's rubbery plastic type thing.
Would you hold off on like having people try forge welding with that because of the amount of splatter that can come off when you forge weld?
It's a really great point, especially if you're working with something that's going to create a lot of scale. It's going to be flying off, like if you're using a gas forge. I think if I were to use this hammer in those situations, I think I'd definitely put on a glove, because you certainly don't want scale to get between your hand and your hammer. But also, I've never had that happen before. Like, sure, I've singed my beard and put holes in my shirt, and you can't see it, but my shoes are full of holes from hot scale. But I've never had it get between my hand and the handle.
Well, I wasn't so much concerned about yes, I was concerned about your hand and scale getting between your hand and the handle. But I mean, just in general, with that being a rubber handle with scale flying everywhere, it damaging the rubber, potentially damaging the hammer.
So here's I have flux, I have metal, so let's bang on this railroad spike a little bit, and then we'll do a little forge welding, see how it goes.
Okay.
I mean, we can speculate all we want, or we can just do it and see what happens.
Do you have a glove?
No. I do have a glove, but it's too soft and the hammer would come out of my hand more likely. So We'll just do it live. Like I've forged weld at least twice in my life, so actually it's a lot more than that. Look at all this change. Yeah. So if I burn my hand a little bit, I burn my hand a little bit. Just the sacrifices I make for you guys, so you don't have to do it yourself. Now we do it on our hand. Nada. Let's try this again. Turn up the old bellows a little bit. Fun thing about railroad spikes, everybody starts off with them. And they're great because lots of times they're free. And if you're lucky, you'll find someone that's got a bucket of them in the back of a barn somewhere. But anyways, not only is it great that they're usually free or it's super cheap, but they are dense. And it takes a lot of heat and a lot of energy to move that metal. Not that it's difficult, it just requires a lot of energy. So it's really great when you're a beginner. It teaches you that hammer control. And since you're swinging a hammer that hard at a big chunk of metal, you want to make sure you hit it in the right spot and you're not missing. So it's a great practice tool. That's oftentimes people's first knives. They'll get themselves a high carbon railroad spike, which just means it's high carbon for railroad spikes, not that it's actually high carbon like the 1095. So when you make a hand knife out of a railroad spike, it'll never really harden. So you're basically just making a butter knife that looks really cool. Or a letter opener. So yeah, we'll wang on this railroad spike when it heats up. Then we'll do some forge welding because why not? Like, forge welding's fun. I already took the wrapper off, but tonight's cigar is a Buffalo Trace cigar, which are way better than they have any right to be. Looking at you, Maker's Mark cigars.
Yeah, but Buffalo Trace cigars don't have the fun wax on them.
They do not. A buddy of mine used to go to my favorite cigar lounge with us. We'd get together as a group, and every once in a while he would ask them for a Maker's Mark cigar because he loved them for some reason. I just don't understand why. They're not good, and nobody should buy them for anybody that they like. And one time I pulled the waitress aside, said, "Hey, if I'm ever in here and anybody I'm with asks for a Maker's Mark cigar, just tell them you're out. Because I don't want to be sitting there smelling that damn thing." Alright, headphone users, turn your volume down. I'm sorry. That's really hot. Alright, headphone users, I'm sorry. Can't, oh, let's get the volume back up there. There we go. So you can't really tell. Oh, especially in this light. Let's go to camera one. You can kind of see some shiny spots.
So you might need to get closer. It's
Don't get too close here. Alright, so I'm guessing it's in the frame?
Yep.
So you can kind of see the shiny spot here. It looked better when it was fresh. But yeah, it does. Oh, there's a shiny spot right there as well. It's hard to see in this light.
you can see it a little bit.
But it does create like a weird indentation in the metal due to it being flat like it is. So that would just require more hammer time to even out those spots. And like down here on the end where I was tapering it out, there's none of those weird flat spots. So definitely it would just take a little extra care to chase the hammer spots out while you're hammering, and or more time on the grinder. So what we'll do for fun here next, since we haven't tried the other side, we'll try this cross peen on it and see how we do. So oftentimes when trying to elongate metal and forge it out, and old Rob from Sharp Bend Forge, he gets so annoyed when people just use the normal side of their hammer on the flat part of the anvil and they just hit flat metal expecting it to extrude out. And when you have a rounding hammer, it's going to create round divots. So when you hit it, it's going to eventually do that, but it's going to take you forever. So what they recommend you doing is chase down your piece with the peen and then come back and hammer with the rounding side. And since you have those divots, you'll squish those divots out, and that'll stretch the metal out way faster and way more efficient. So we'll try that.
Dave Manges
Mm-hmm.
says hi.
Hi, Dave. I'm glad you came back. Welcome back. And again, feel free to throw your link in the comment section. I don't mind cross promotion. Dave has got a bit of a side business going on where he helps people arrange their travel, like a travel agent type dude. And I think he specializes in cruises. That was a mouthful. So hit him up if you're into cruises and stuff. I keep thinking someone's walking up behind me and it's just the chickens being chickens over there.
Say you're talking about the chickens being chickens over there, like I'm not picking up any chickens.
They're like scratching, and so it sounds like somebody walking through the yard. Get out of there. All right. Headphone users, watch out. So yeah, I did the thing. They put in some divots. They went in real deep. But also, it was hitting pretty good. So the divots went in real deep. The peen seems to work. It seems to be a perfectly usable hammer. Again, if you had no other choice, I don't see anything wrong with it. But we'll give the poor headphone users a break. And we say we do some forge welding. Personally, I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Oh. Of course, I set that metal over there, and then it got really hot, so now I don't want to hold on to it. I want to use a piece that I don't have to use tongs with. Well, that's not going to work. Let's see, do I have a welding piece of metal over here? It's not huge. There we go, this should do. So, just I think that's what, 1/4 inch round bar. We'll stick it in there, we'll scarf it, we'll roll it over and weld it to itself into a loop, and it'll look something kind of something like that. We're not going to do that type of weld on it. But yeah, I don't have the other kind of rolled over weld, so yeah, we'll roll it over and weld it, and that'll be great. It'll be great. Anybody else out there in the comment section?
acknowledged. Dave posted his link.
Good man.
Confirmed that he is indeed a travel agent.
There you go. Do you specify whether he specializes in cruises or if that's just one of his avenues?
He is not yet.
So we'll throw this out there too. Are you a new blacksmith or wanting to be a new blacksmith? And there's something on Amazon that you've been eyeing, you're like, oh, I kind of want this dealie or that dealie, and you're not sure if it's a wise move? Hit me up. Shoot me a message or a DM or an IM or whatever those kids are doing these days.
Just comment on the video.
Comment on the video. Give me the link. I'll check it out, and we'll go from there. Yesterday when I was out here playing around in the shop, shattered the heck out of my hot cut that was on the struggle bus anyways. It went to pot on me there, so I ordered one. So we're going to try an Amazon one just for fun. See how that works out. Ooh, burned all the carbon right out of that. Cool. We'll just cut that off. That'll be fine. Ow. Save that one for the blooper reel. All right. Try that again, but without the burning of the metal.
We'll see.
Got to talking too much.
Dave said mostly cruises, but he does all travel, mostly premium to luxury travel.
Ooh. Fancy. So no travel I'll ever be doing.
I was just about to be like Ireland. Ireland?
You want to do an Ireland cruise?
No, not a cruise.
That's going to be nasty. That might shorten the stream tonight.
He says, want to get fancy, Jesse?
I can't afford fancy. Last time I was in Ireland, I ended up hitchhiking across half the country. Alright, so we got our scarf in there. So now we'll work on folding it over. And then we'll clean it, flux it, and weld it. So that should be fun. Getting forge welding is like my favorite part of blacksmithing because it feels like magic. Because it's ridiculous if you think about it. I have a pile of rocks that I have set on fire. And then I take a piece of metal and stick it into that fire and get the metal so hot it becomes a liquid on the outside. And when I smack it, it becomes one piece of metal. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But, a little bit of luck, I'll show you that's exactly what's going to happen. So, we'll fold this over. Always got to take things too far. Hot again. again.
I said metal magic.
Hey, buddy, welcome to the stream.
Long time no see.
Hey, it's so funny.
Mostly because we haven't been to streaming.
The dude is probably, what, 200 feet away? You can just walk over and jump and have a seat. Alright, so close that gap a little bit. And we'll clean the heck out of this metal. Get as much nasties out of there that I can. Then, because I don't feel like working harder than I have to, I'm going to use the Magic Flux. I won't say what brand. But I'm sure they recognize the bottle if they see this. They can reach out. Alright, we're clean. We're fluxed. Now it's time to get into the fire. When it comes to welding, I like to be able to see my metal so I know when it's the right color. I'm going to put a little bit more oomph in the blower there so I can get that heat up. So basically you want the coal to be white hot. And then what you'll do is you will watch your metal come up to temperature, excuse me. You want the metal to disappear in the white hot. And it's smart every few seconds to flip it over. Just like pancake flip it is how I say it. Just so both sides come up to temperature at the same time. And so you just flip-flop, back and forth, flip-flop. And you can't see this. One of these days I'll do a forge welding video with a camera over here so you can see what I'm doing. But you'll start to notice, oh, sparks. I talked too long. 1 second. So, once you start to see scale form, that means it's too cold, go back in the fire. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, when the fire starts to turn a little bit green, that's like you're almost there. Like that's your early warning sign that you're almost the forge temperature. If you get to sparks, it's too late. And see, I'm back to sparks because I've been talking too much. But we come back here and bang, bang, bang. Now, so we got a spot that's not welded. Well, it's going up the same temp. Well, yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, we're certainly welded. You'll notice that when it all changes color at the same time, that means it's one piece of metal. If you have a piece that's like turning black and the rest of it's still red, like right in its immediate vicinity, that means that there's an air gap there, or it didn't lay all the way down, or it didn't weld all the way. So yeah. So to answer your question, yeah, you can 100% weld with it. There's not even any pot marks on the handle from the splatter from the first initial ones. Yeah, it seems to be perfectly fine. So, if you're a beginner blacksmith that just bought a random hammer on Amazon and you want to use a forge welding, well, I admire your chutzpah. But yeah, you could totally do it. I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit. So yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's hear it. No.
So you said that can't afford fancy travel. Dave said cut cigars for 2 months. To which I said, oh, there's no way he's going to give up his cigars for 2 months. Dave said I wouldn't either, and that he wants a canister Damascus video.
I want to do canister Damascus. I've not done any Damascus actually. I think if I were to do Damascus of any sort, I would want a press of some kind so I can get a bigger surface area to do it, and I don't have a press. I have access to a press, so maybe I'll give it a try sometime. But I'm going to go through a lot of practice of making Damascus before I start doing it on this stream. And besides, with my humidor, I think 2 months is pushing it, but I could probably go 2 months on just what I have in the humidor. So that's not saving me much.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
And at this point, 2 months would just lead us back to our quarterly Nikki Blaine's meetup. So spend the money at Nikki Blaine's anyway.
Right. Good old Nikki Blaine's, best cigar lounge I've ever been to. It's certainly the best one in Indiana. But yeah, so to recap, we did some dainty work with the big heavy hammer. We did some heavy hammering with the big heavy hammer, and then we even did some forge welding. So it still has that weird smell, so I haven't gotten all of it, all that coating off of there. The peen worked perfectly fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm, of course, no hammer expert, but if you had nothing else and you had this, it'd be perfectly fine. So yeah, I think it's a pretty solid hammer. I'll put the link in the description, or it should already be there. So if you want to test it out yourself, go for it. What's great, like, about if you're into blacksmithing and stuff, if you break the plastic handle on this, I don't know what's underneath it, but if you were to break that or to get too pot marked or whatever, you could just cut it out and put a wooden hammer or a wooden handle on it. It'd be perfectly fine. So yeah, I don't see a problem with this hammer. You might want to redress the face. So if you have access to a belt sander or a grinder or something, you might want to put a better round on it. But yeah, I think it seems to be a perfectly viable hammer tonight. So yeah, check it out if you think. Any comments or newcomers or anything? All right, cool. Well, since I didn't have any projects planned, I just wanted to swing a hammer at some metal for a minute. So I think we're going to have another short stream. Next week, we'll be reviewing a hot cut. So heck, maybe we'll make some chain. I don't know. Haven't done that in a long time. Or I'll come up with something more fun that involves a hot cut. I don't know. We got a week to think about it. So anyways, pretty decent hammer. Thanks for coming to the stream. We will be back next week. Same forge time, same forge channel. Yeah. So we'll see you then. Have a good night, folks.